All right, Justice Brett Kavanaugh is set for a ceremonial swearing in at the White House tonight. He was officially sworn in on Saturday, and he's about to hear his first cases on the Supreme Court this week. So what are they, and what impact will his vote have? Let's bring in attorneys Richard Roth and David Bruno. I'm surrounded by two lawyers. Help me.
Good morning.
Right, David, let's begin.
Sorry about that. The sharks are swimming.
David, I want to start with you. So Kavanaugh replaces a centrist conservative, Justice Anthony Kennedy, on the Supreme Court. What impact do you see Justice Kennedy having on the High Court?
Yeah,
Justice Kavanaugh, I'm sorry.
Kavanaugh is going to be the fifth Republican, right? And it's really not that big of a change. I mean, yes, Kennedy was a swing vote, but let's not forget he was a Reagan appointee. It's the next one that's going to be the big one. I mean, we've all seen how this went this time around, but in the end, this is going to be 5-4 Republicans. They do control the court. And we'll see, but it's the next one that's really going to have an impact on the Dems for sure.
Many Democrats, Rich, are concerned that progress made on various issues is now in question, including Democratic Maryland Senator Ben Cardin. Listen, and I'll get your response on the other side.
We are very concerned about protecting the progress we've made on health care issues, on women's constitutional rights, on protecting the Mueller investigation. So all those issues we think are at risk. And it's going to put, I think, more interest on the Congress in the United States to protect health care, to protect women's rights, and protect that no one's above the law.
What do you think, Rich?
He's dead on. The bottom line is that David's right. On many issues, there's not a big difference, but there are some issues that are really going to be paramount to the Supreme Court. For example, the Roe v. Wade decision, the decisions that are mentioned by the congressman. This court is definitely swinging more to the right, so those issues are going to be, if and when they come to the Supreme Court, they will be heard, and that Kennedy vote, which was always the left-leaning vote, is gone. And now we have Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh's not a Scalia. He's not as far right as Scalia, but he is a conservative justice. So you'll see judicial minimalism. The Roe versus Wade decision is going to be a very hotly contested issue. And there are issues where Congress is going to have to, if it wants to keep its course and stay, if you will, centrist or even leftist, see what happens in the next election, Congress is going to have to enact legislation to stop that from happening.
What do you mean? Is it possible, David, that Kavanaugh will be more conciliatory because of the chaos that surrounded his confirmation?
Possible. I hope not. I sure do. It's going to be impossible to tell, though. How could we ever tell as to what his vote would have been before all of this chaos, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But the fact of the matter is, I mean, this is a conservative court. There's no doubt about it. It was conservative before we lost Kennedy. I mean, in the 5-4 decisions of the last term, Kennedy was with the Republicans on all of them. And that's my point. The fact of the matter is, yes, he's going to be conservative. We're never going to tell if any of these votes changed, and it will be interesting to see how these cases develop.
Rich, how is this a test for the Chief Justice, John Roberts?
Well, I think it's really helpful to the Chief Justice, because a lot of times these courts do struggle 5-4. Now Roberts has someone more on his side, more rightist. And I do think that David's right. We don't know what Kavanaugh's going to do. Many conservative justices have come to the court and have turned more liberal. Some have not. So Kavanaugh is not an extreme right jurist, but it'll be easier for Roberts. There will be a movement, if you will, more to the right, which is pro-Republican.
And finally, David, as we wrap this up, how does the Supreme Court best protect its integrity and its judicial impartiality at this point?
To keep on doing what it's doing. I think the interesting part about this is going to be Roberts is going to be the new swing vote. It appears. I mean, let's not forget about his decision in the Affordable Care Act. There have been many signs that Roberts is going to be the new swing. It's not going to be as swing as Kennedy. It's going to be a right swing, but the fact of the matter is it's going to be interesting how things develop here.
And we might find out how voters feel about all this next month, as we discussed earlier in the show.
We certainly will.
Richard Roth, David Bruno, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.